Richard is eating a piece of grilled corn on the cob. Beside him, his son suddenly mentions that things just taste better with a kick of spice. This sparks a brilliant business idea in his mind, because he realizes that the people around him are absolutely obsessed with spicy food. So, he decides to create a spicy variety of chips. He immediately runs to the store and buys a case of regular chips. Seeing this, his wife grows deeply worried, wondering how they will afford next month's rent and groceries. Yet, instead of telling him to give up, she decides to back Richard up with everything she has. Next, the couple buys all kinds of different chili peppers and runs test after test. However, their initial batches of seasoning bring nothing but a pure, fiery burn, lacking the distinct, savory depth he is looking for. That rich flavor profile found on grilled street corn. Meanwhile, the company's R&D department is working on something similar. But Richard is convinced that true flavor can only come from natural chilies and traditional methods. So, he builds a makeshift tumbler machine and finally nails the perfect ratio of spice to chip. Unfortunately, bad news strikes out of nowhere. The factory begins facing massive layoffs. Absolutely no one is willing to listen to Richard's pitch. His supervisor even mocks him for being just a janitor, telling him to stop daydreaming. But Richard refuses to back down. He takes a leap of faith and calls the company's CEO directly. To his surprise, the CEO actually answers the phone. Richard then packages a sample and mails it straight to the executive. Astonishingly, a few days later, the CEO plans to fly down to the factory in person. Upon hearing the news, everyone begins to blame Richard, warning him that if the boss hates the idea, the entire plant could be shut down. This backlash causes Richard's confidence to waver. When he returns home defeated and tells his wife everything, she makes him stand quietly in front of a mirror. She reminds him that she is right there by his side, and urges him never to underestimate his own worth. His wife then breaks down the fundamentals of business for him, and helps him draft a phenomenal presentation speech. Yet, when the CEO finally arrives, Richard ditches his rehearsed script entirely. He chooses to speak straight from the heart in his own unique way. The CEO deeply admires his raw honesty and sharp intuition, and gives the green light to invest in the new product. But against all expectations, the product hits the shelves and completely flops with no buyers. Richard is absolutely devastated. That is when his son reminds him that people simply don't know what spicy chips are yet, and they need to figure out a way to market it themselves. So, Richard calls up an old friend, a legendary salesman who could sell shampoo to a bald man. Together, they hit the streets, handing out bags at local stores and schools, pitching the snack to crowds, and even posing as eager customers to drum up hype. Before long, the demand for the spicy chips absolutely skyrockets. The factory shifts into overdrive, operating around the clock. In just 6 short months, the plant completely shatters the company's all-time sales records. The CEO visits Richard once again, officially promoting him to the company's director of marketing. The entire factory floor instantly erupts into a thunderous round of applause.